Oh. Yo, what's up guys? This is John coming at you from Car Wheeler Motors, and as you can see, you're probably wondering, what the hell is this? What is this thing you have in front of you now? I'm gonna tell you, this thing is it's not what you would expect. I mean, it is what it looks like, but it is a dirt bike, and it's from China. This is a Chinese bike, and it's called the Arctic Leopard EXC680. Now let's first of all, let's get past the name, right? Arctic Leopard. I mean, I'm not exactly fond of it myself, but you know, the proof is in the pudding, right? And what the bike is actually, you know, it's not nearly as you know, cheesy as you might think the name is. And what it is, guys, is it's a trials bike base. I mean, you know, as you can see, straight off, it's trials bike-ish frame, and it has a lot of attributes from a lot of things, right? So number one, the first thing you see is this seat. Now this seat is a really comfortable seat. It's a dirt bike style seat, and you can sit all the way up to the front like a real dirt bike, or actually maybe even further up in the front because you don't got the gas tank and whatnot. But this thing will allow you to get all the way to the front. It's nice and grippy. Yeah. This bike, going over stats, right? It's supposed to be rated at 25 kilowatts. Now that is insanely high given the size of the bike and what's out there on the market today. Let's just put that into perspective. A Suron is only 6 kilowatts at peak power, and that's stock, of course, right? Stock Suron, 6 kilowatts at peak, and the electric motion is 11 kilowatts at peak. This thing is rated at 25. Now I haven't taken it up to 3 yet, but we'll see what 25 feels like, right? And you got a 72 volt 66 amp hour battery pack. So the battery pack is really big and it's a little bulky, and it does lend the bike to be a little bit wider as far as width wise compared to, say, a Suron or electric motion. But it's not a bad thing. I don't really think it's too much of a bad thing. The width, it's not bad. And going from the top down, as you can see, I took off the stock grips. I didn't like them, and unfortunately I only had blue S3 grips. These grips are great, nice and gummy, but I had to put those on. But these feel great. And your controls here, you have a button here for regen brake. This doesn't really do anything. And then of course you have these 3 map selectors, so 1, 2, and 3. You can select 3 maps, and it even has a reverse built in, which I'll show you a little bit later. Yeah, we added the hand guards, of course, front brake, and looking over here, you actually have your rear brake on this side. It doesn't have a foot brake, and I kind of understand where you guys are coming from now. You know, having ridden the electric motion pretty much my whole riding electric, you know, career or time, as you say, I've come to like the rear brake, and I was actually searching for it today in certain things and it wasn't there. So I understand now, guys. I understand why, you know, in the beginning I couldn't realize why people wanted the rear brake so much, but now I get it. But your rear brake is on this side, front brake is here. We added these hand guards, of course, just to give us a little bit of protection. And then moving on, you got this. I added this is just a number plate I had, but you got this kind of cool looking aluminum triple clamps here. You know, you got 39mm trial style forks, and these are pretty closely modeled to tech forks. I mean, you know, visually they're the same. Internally I'm not sure, but they are double spring. It's not a double it's not a different cartridge rebound and compression. It's actually just a regular 2 springs, well, spring and spring on both sides. This is actually a 4 piston, and you can kind of see it a little bit in there. This is a 4 piston front brake. And kind of cool thing is it comes with Maxxis tires. And you know, Maxxis is a reputable company. I mean, this tire comes on the KTM Freeride E, if I'm not mistaken. It's the same tire, the trial style tire. So that's not a bad thing. Red hubs. You got red hubs there. And this is the motor. The motor is kind of a big boy. From what I've been told, I mean, I've been told this is an encoded motor. So it actually is a lot smoother than, say, a stock Sur-Ron as far as the throttle response. Not nearly as smooth as the electric motion, but very, very smooth. You got red. This looks like S3 hard rock pegs. I mean, if you look at the shape and the design, it's almost identical. And you get these pegs that come stock with the bike. These are nice and they're pretty solid. And yeah, it's steel frame. And if you're familiar with Trials stuff, the frame design is actually somewhat of a Vertigo. Vertigo is it's a European company. I'm not sure if it's British or Spanish, but Vertigo makes a frame that's very similar as far as this tubular style design, and it's not bad. It's pretty solid. And the subframe here with this box is pretty much what the seat mounts to, and it's quite solid. It's like a 3-piece frame that everything ties together with this plastic piece. And I didn't think it was gonna be that good in the beginning, but it's proven to be pretty solid, surprisingly. And then of course you have this back here. This is your shock. Now I'm not sure what brand this is. HT Crown suspension. It's, you know, it's one of those off brands, but you have a compression adjustment down here. Also you have your compression up here and your rebound down there, so you can adjust it as you want. And of course you can set your preload. Now as I was riding, it was a little bit bouncy for my weight. I'm not sure if I'm too heavy or too light, but I didn't set anything. I just put this thing together and rode it. So yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of adjustment to be done, right? Moving back here, you have of course your rear brake. It's got to get broken in a little bit. It wasn't feeling that great, but I break it in. You have again Maxxis tires. Now this tire is pretty gummy. It actually is really gummy. I mean, it is a regular Trials tire, and that's kind of the thing that I thought this bike would be a good middle ground, you know. I'm gonna get into the pricing a little bit later and stuff like that. This is basically just a test. This is a demo bike that I bought from them. They shipped it via air. It was super expensive to ship via air because there's only one. You know, I wasn't gonna commit to a bunch of them right off the bat. I wanted to see how they would be first. But I mean, in the first 15 minutes of riding it, it was decent. I mean, I had to get used to the power delivery because I've been riding EM so much and whatnot. But this is, I think in the first 10-15 minutes, I already knew this was the middle ground, you know. And how good that middle ground is, it's gonna take a little bit more time, but we'll figure that out, and that's what we're here to show you. Yeah. And then you have a 520 chain. So a regular size dirt bike 520 chain, 42 tooth, and you have a 13 tooth in the front. Oh, is it 13? Oh no, sorry, 11 tooth in the front sprocket. So this is actually not a direct drive to the motor. It's actually a 2-to-1 gear ratio. So it's internal, it's gear to gear, there's no belt, yeah. So it's tough. And you have the that's for the primary drive, of course, internally in the motor, gear to gear. And then the secondary is your 520 chain ring and chain. The adjustment here again. And, oh yeah, and these this wheel is a tubeless wheel. So just like a regular Trials rear wheel, it's a tubeless. So I'm not too familiar with the Maxxis bead, but I'm hoping and I'm assuming that the bead is a thick wall bead, as most and actually all Trials tires are, so that you can comfortably run it on the tubeless wheel and be assured that the bead is not going to blow out. Yeah. That's kind of something we worry about if we're running super low pressure. Now, of course, the recommended pressure was higher than what we normally run it at. Like I run it at 4 to 6 pounds, you know, depending on if the day is wet or dry. I think I have it, well, I had it really low earlier, as you'll see later in the video, but pumped it up to about 5 or whatever, and so far so good. When it was really soft, it tracks really good. It's a decent tire. And yeah, I mean, it's something else, you know. The bottom, there's a skid plate here. It's a thin piece of aluminum. There's not much to it. There may be some things we need to do to brace this up. I mean, this tube here is kind of 90 degrees, and it's I would say about 5/8 ish thick. I'm not sure how thick the wall is, but if this is any indication of how thick the wall is, that's about it, you know. For bashing on the rocks, might want to protect it a little bit more. I haven't opened this cover, but this is where the controller is down here. Obviously that's like the cooling fins for that. And yeah, unlike the EMs, the controller is down there instead of, say, up here. Is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? I don't know yet. We'll find out. But yeah, check this thing out, guys. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like I said, we're in the testing phase of this right now. It's still undetermined if Kawila Motors is gonna bring this in, if we're gonna entertain the idea of kind of bringing more in and kind of, I don't want to say competing with the electric motions, but it is something, in my personal observation, right off the bat, it's right in the middle between an EM, Arctic Leopard, and a Sur-Ron. Yeah. Price wise, it fits right in. This is the top of the line model that they make. Well, take that back. They actually make a titanium frame, which saves you a couple pounds. Now, I didn't think the price difference was worth it, but they advertise a titanium frame, so that will save you a little bit of weight too. The weight is about 180, so it's not much lighter. It's not actually any lighter than a typical, you know, the EM size bike. When it comes to price, this bike is priced, this is the top end, but the price, I won't disclose that at this moment because I don't know what the price will be, given that, you know, it depends on the quantity that we bring in, and it depends on the shipping that it's going to cost to get them here directly from China, because of course we don't have a US distributor yet. So keep posted. If you have any questions or comments, or you want more information about this thing, you can always hit me up on my IG, Kawila Motors, on Instagram. You can hit me up on Facebook. You can also email me at kawilamotors@gmail.com. Just email me you want more info, or to keep you updated on what's going on with these bikes. But yeah, the price, we gotta get that settled, you know, before I start advertising. But I will say it is between the Sur-Ron, which is about 5,600 now, if I'm not mistaken, stock, and then the EM, that's about 12.5 or 12,600. So it's going to be right in the middle of that, and this is the top of the line. They do offer other packages as well, so possibly cheaper, a little bit closer to the Sur-Ron price, depending on what you want. So right on, guys, thanks again for checking out my channel. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. You want more updates on this bike and more ride videos, check out Arctic Leopard on YouTube, and the link is up above to his page. And these guys, they be bashing the bike around, you know. It's not some pro rider jumping and doing all this fancy stuff and not, you know, not eating it, not falling over, you know. You want to see how durable this bike is, watch the videos, you know. This is like real guys just riding, and they're just going all out in some gnarly stuff in China, I'm guessing. So it's kind of cool, you know. It's more of a reality check than anything. It's not picturesque and just, you know, all the good stuff, all the good riders, all the good locations, all the good sections. No, this is like real shit. So yeah, it's kind of cool, and well, like I said, we'll see where this goes. But until next time, guys, ride with aloha. Thank you so much. Take care. Man, you know what, just the fact that I can sit though is kind of nice. It's kind of nice. Oh shit, but it gets me in trouble. It gets me in trouble when I'm not supposed to, because I'm too comfortable. Should be standing up. Let's see. I usually use 2 to get up this thing on my EM. Let me see if whoa, not bad. This is just one. This is just one. This is just one. This is just one. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. All right. All right. Whoa. Ah. Wow. That wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad.